Hi friends, I am KRISHNA. So today we are going to learn something deep in the constructor. Okay, we already covered what is class, what is a constructor, but today we are going to cover only the constructor explicitly. Okay, so I am using PyCharm for my programming. Okay, so here I have created a project which is the sample project in PyCharm. We already discussed how to create a project in PyCharm. Okay, go to file, new project. Okay, I have already created a sample project. So in that I will be creating a package. So right click on the project, go to new, and then Python package. Okay, you may be asking, okay, what is the need of this package, sir? You can directly create a Python file, no, to write the programs. So see, I wanted to make you people get in habit of making the programming in a systematic way. Okay, so it is this Python package is like a modules. Okay, if you are writing a real-time project, so if you are in a real-time project, there will be in the projects there will be modules. In the modules there will be pages. Okay, for the pages you have to write the code. Okay, so in the same way we will follow the same process so that you will get a clear idea how the work will be going on in the real time. So create a project. Okay, suppose module, I am giving some name to it. Okay, normally in the real time we will be having this folder structure already made. Okay, so you need to explicitly make the folder structure, but for your particular, if you are the means what you call the leader or the team lead, so you have to make the folder structure, so you should be knowing these things. Okay, so right click on the module or the package, go to new Python file. Okay, here I am giving some name because I wanted to explain about the constructors, so I will be giving structo constructor. Okay, right now in Java or in Java, okay, if you take the example, because most of the companies are now shifting from Java to Python, so most of the people will be familiar in Java. Okay, in Java, how we will be having the constructor. Okay, suppose sample is my class. Okay, so then how the constructor will be, constructor name will be same as the class name in Java, I am saying. Okay, so it will be like some public. Okay, you don't need to worry about all those because you are not learning Java over here, but if anyone is having the idea of Java, then I am giving the what you call the reference. Okay, then you have to write the sample, that is the class name, and open and close brackets. I am writing the default constructor over here. Okay, then in that way the initialization will be done in this way, it will be there. Okay, so but in Python, this is in Java. Mm, okay, in Python, if sample is the class name, then we are having okay, so here there will not be any means the class name and all those things. Okay, so it will be see here in Java it is like a method, okay, or a function. Okay, but in the same way uh, here also the constructor is like a method. Okay, so in the method we are having the key, we have to use the keyword d. So you have to use this keyword of def. Okay, def like definition. Okay, then space. Then you have to in Java we are having the class name as the name of the constructor, but here for the constructor we don't have like that. So we are having underscore underscore double underscore in it, then underscore underscore. Okay, and open and close brackets, colon, and inside that colon you have to initialize the variables. Okay, what you initialize the non-static variables. Okay, in this way it will be there. Okay, the difference between uh, if you say the method, if you consider the method, okay, forgot about the Java and all those things. Okay, so okay, if sample is the class, so the class name is nowhere related to the constructor name, defining and constructor defining. So here it should be in this way. Okay, underscore underscore init underscore underscore. So the constructor will have the same name. If you are writing this name, then that is a constructor. Okay, so then you may say, what is the difference between a method and a constructor? First thing, a method, how the method will be there. Suppose it will be also be starting with def. Suppose method. This is how the method will be there. Def. Then we have to give the method name. Why I am writing this type of brackets? Because that is mandatory, that's why I'm writing it. Okay, and this is a keyword, we have to write the def. Okay, then we have to give the open and close brackets. Okay, inside that we have the argument list or the arguments. Okay, in this way here also we are having, sorry, self comma arguments you are having. Okay, what is self, we will be seeing that. And here we are having the arguments and colon, and here the body of the method. Here we are having uh, non-static variable initialization. Okay, so in this way the main difference, and a method is having an ability to return a value. So it is optional. Okay, so I'm writing this bracket returns. Okay, we have to give the value or the variable names. Okay, what variables or the objects. Here everything in an object, no? So objects. Okay, so if anyone asks what is the difference between a method and a constructor, first thing, uh, method name can be any name. Okay, and but the constructor name should be underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, and uh, we don't have any return type for what you call return type, or it does not returns any value. Constructor will not return any value, but method will return the value. Okay, and method can be called n number of times. Okay, we can call the method n number of times. but a constructor will be called only once. Okay, then when this constructor will be called, whenever an object is being created, then the constructor is being called. Okay, but here method, how the method can be called? Method can be called any time. Okay, whenever I want it I can call it. Okay, and a constructor should be called with the reference of the object. Okay, a method can be called also with respect to the by using the object only. Okay, suppose if it is a function, then we have to we can call by using the class name. Okay, or directly you can call it. Okay, we'll see the difference. Okay, so if you are means if it is a non-static method, you have to call with uh, the object. Okay, if it is a static method, then we have to call with the class name. But here constructor will be called with the object. Okay, because it contains non-static variables. Okay, so the main difference is between the method and the constructor. Method of constructor name will be always underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Method name can be anything. Okay, which will follow the naming convention. Okay, and here it will not return any value, constructor will not return any value, but method is having the ability to return the value. And constructor is called whenever object is created. Okay, here method can be called anywhere. Okay, n number of times. Okay, but constructor is called only when so let's go and do some programming. Okay, uh, okay, first what I will be doing is I will be creating a class. How to create a class? You have to write the keyword class class, then the class name, let it be some sample. Okay, colon. Then inside this class what I will be doing is I will be creating a constructor. Okay, so constructor, how the constructor will be created? With def definition, then we have to give the name. Any name we can give, or is it particular name is there? Okay, there is a particular name called underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Okay, self is like this. Okay, so self always refer to the current object. Okay, it refers to the current object. We'll see that how. So in that I wanted to create a non-static variables. So to create a non-static variables, what we have to do? We have to use self self dot some a, and I wanted to assign some 10 value to it. Okay, so non-static variables if I wanted to create, I have to create with self. Okay, self dot like that. Okay, and self star I wanted to create another non-static variable some b is equal to some 20. Okay, right, and constructor should only be used, okay, to only to use it for initializing the values, initializing the non-static stuff. Okay, now what I will be doing is uh, this is in the main program, this is the main. Okay, to show the difference I am writing this comment over here. Then here what I want to, what I told was whenever an object is being created, then only constructor will be called. So I will be trying, I will be creating an object. So Object name is, so object creation is, what is the class name? Object for the class sample. So SAMPLE sample, open and close brackets, okay, is equal to, and that memory location I have to give some reference variable. So re, suppose some x. Okay, here x is not the object, x is the reference variable which is pointing to that memory location. Means if I what happens whenever this statement is executed, means this whatever x is equal to sample of open and close bracket, this statement is executed, what happens is that okay, uh, a memory space will be created. Suppose that this is the memory space which is being created, and in this what happens, there will be a here, and it will be initialized with 10, and there will be b which will be initialized with some 20, okay, and uh, this is the memory location which is being created, and this there will be a and there will be b, and x is the reference variable which is pointing to this memory location. Okay, so x is not the object, x is like a variable which is referring to that memory location. Okay, in the same way, what is the self, sir? The self is also referring to the same memory location. Here, okay, self, sorry, the self is also referring to the same memory location. Okay, so uh, we will be doing one thing, sir. How can I say that, okay, uh, whenever this object is created, how can you say that the constructor is been called? So what I will be doing is I will not be writing any statement in this main program, but here inside the constructor, uh, one second. Inside the constructor, I will be creating what I will be writing a print statement. This is constructors. Okay, and after the creation of the object, sorry, after the right creation of the object, what I will be doing is I will writing a statement. This is main. Okay, so first it will come here and it will go to the constructor. Okay, and it will initialize the in the memory location, it will a and b will be created and it will be initialized, and the statement will be executed, and then it goes to the next statement. So you will see, whenever an object is being created, then the constructor is been called or not. If this statement is printed before this statement, then it states that the object sorry, whenever an object is created, constructor is been called. So I'm running it. Okay, it will give some error message because here I have not shown. Okay, see here. This is a constructor, then this is a main program. So constructor is being means whenever an object is being created, constructor is being called. Okay, so it is true. Okay, then the next thing is that sir, if you are saying that okay, this self and this x or the object referring to the uh, what you call memory location, they are referring to the same memory location. How can you say that, sir? Because self refers to the current memory location, and here whenever I creating an object, okay, this constructor is being called, okay, and how can you say that we both are referring to the same memory location? What I will be doing is I will be delete it. Okay, then I will be printing the memory locations. Okay, so here print, actually the constructor you should not use except for initialization. Okay, you should not print it, you should not write any logic, but here I wanted to show you that both is referring to the same memory location. I am writing the print statement. Okay, so here print uh, id of self. Okay, so I wanted to check what is the idea of this self. Okay, and here also I wanted to check what is the address of this x, or what is the address that this x is referring to. Okay, not the address of the x. Okay, the address for which the x is referring to. So print id of x. Okay, we'll check whether it is having the same address they are referring to, or they are referring to the different addresses. See here, they are referring to the same address. Okay, that is what is the current address. Okay, now what I will be doing is I will be creating another object, and I will be checking whether both the current it is referring to the current address or not. Okay, so I will be creating another some y is equal to sample, then print id of x. Okay, sorry, id of y. So now y is also referring to the same address or not, we will be checking it. See here what has happened. See, when this object is being created, okay, and it is referring to this address, and for this object there is a different address, so it is referring to that current address. So here the current address is changing or not. See here, means self means whenever a object is being means whenever the object is means self always represents the current address. Okay, so here the current address is, for y it is this one, and it is referring to this address. Okay, and the current and at the particular means when this statement is being executed, the first statement that um, at this particular point of time, okay, x is the object, so it is referring to the x memory location. Okay, in that way it happens. Okay, so self always represents the current memory location, current address, sorry, it refers to current what you call current object, so it refers to the address of the current object. Okay, right, so it is not in this way. So we have to think in a separate way that okay, it should not be in this way. Okay, it should be like uh, suppose this is the memory location, and we are having a which is equal to 10, and we are having b which is equal to some 20. Okay, then what happens actually? Okay, when am I creating an object? Okay, so this one, okay, whenever here creating an object here, what happens? First, a memory location will be created, a of 10 and a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20 will be initialized when this statement is executed. Okay, x is equal to sample of open and close bracket, that is what is the constructor. Okay, sorry, object. Okay, it is actually a constructor which is being called. Okay, so here we are calling this constructor. Then what happens? This x is referring to this memory location. In the same way, self is also referring to this memory location. And what is that memory location? That memory location can be any, or any number. Okay, any some sort of number. Okay, then after that, this statement is being executed, it goes to this statement and id is being printed, right? Then when it comes to this statement, then again a new memory location is being created, and again it will be initial, because when it comes to here, when it comes to the this statement, first here it is referring to the constructor, so it goes here and memory location will be created, and it will be again a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20 will be initialized in this memory location. And what happens is that the y will be, or the self, here the self is different. Okay, so here this y will be referring to this memory location, and now this self is nowhere, it will not be referring to this memory location. Now what happens, it will not be referring to this memory location. Now this self will be referring to this memory location. Okay, this means now this is the current memory location, then now this is the current object. No, that's why it will, self will always be referring to this current object location only, okay, current object only. Okay, so I think you understood what is self. Self is, self always will be pointing to the current object. Okay, so here at this particular point, x is the what you called here, this is the current memory location, so it is referring to this location. But here when what happens when it comes to this this statement is executed, now what happens, it will not refer anymore refer to this location, now it will be referring to this location. Okay, this is what is the uh, what actually happens. Okay, so the same thing, like you, like a variable is there. Suppose if you are declaring a variable, and if you are changing the value, then it will not actually change the value. That means, suppose if I am saying that sorry, uh, so suppose if I am saying that, okay, here if I am declaring any variable, suppose some s is equal to some 30, and again if I'm changing that value, okay, if I'm declaring here s is equal to 30, this means that um, in the memory location, suppose the 30 will be there, and s will be referring to that 30, means there will be s, and this s will be referring to this 30. And suppose if I am changing the value, some s is equal to some 40. Now what happens? You may be thinking, okay, means there will be another s will be created. Okay, it is not like that actually. What happens is that there will be in memory location 40 will be created. Okay, and this s will no way, now it will not be pointing to this, but this s will be pointing to this 40. Okay, this is how we have already explained about in the same phenomena in the variables. Okay, this we have already explained. Okay, so in the same way here also self will be representing to the current memory location. Okay, okay, right. So I hope you understood the concept over here. uh, I will do one thing. I will clear everything. Okay, this is how the constructor will be used. Now, okay, uh, sir, you may be asking, okay, here we are using like a default constructor. So, can we parameterize the constructor or not? Means, suppose if I wanted give some values to the constructor while creating the object. Suppose here we have not created any values. Suppose if I wanted to give some values, suppose some 10, comma some 20, comma some 30, and here I wanted the constructor to take those values. Okay, suppose some a, comma b, comma c. Okay, this a and this a are different. Okay, so what happens whenever I will take the statements over here, it will be a bit confusing. Okay, now what happens, these values will be taken from here, and I wanted to initialize the values with these values. Okay, so I don't want the fixed values, so here I wanted to initialize some a, b. Okay, I am taking this also, self dot c, which is equal to some c. Okay, so here this a b self dot a, self dot b, self dot c, they are all are static, sorry, non-static variables, and I have initialized with the variables which I have given while creating the object. Okay, and now what I will be doing is I will be creating a method where I will be adding those values, okay, and printing it. So def function name, method name can be anything. So add add, okay, and it is a non-static function, though automatically you have to mention the self over here. And here I wanted to add it, so print a plus b plus c. If I say like that, see what happens. It is showing the error message where this a and b and c are there, because in the main there is no a, b, and c. A, b, and c are non-static variables. A, b, and c are non-static variables. So any non-static variables we can't declare directly like this. So we have to use self, se, sorry, self dot a, self dot b, self dot c. Okay. Now here I have created a constructor, but after creating a means I created an object, but I have not called this method, so I have to call this method. So how I can call this is a non-static method. It is a non-static method. So I have to call through an object. So x dot add. Okay, right. I will run it. 60 is been printed. So then, sir, what, sir, you have you have written these numbers only here directly fixed. So I wanted to give the numbers, give the values at the runtime. So you can do it, okay, by using the input method. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, so I don't want to give the values directly. I wanted to use the input method. So input, enter the enter value of a. Okay, and here the value which has been given will be stored in some a. Okay, and in the same way control v. Sir, why are you creating these variables, sir? Directly you can give here only, no, sir. Okay, if you want you can give that also. We'll be seeing that. Okay, b, b, c, c. Okay, right. So here a, b, and c. Right. So now run it. See here, this A, B, and C and this A, B, or C are different. Okay, don't confuse. Okay, enter the value. Suppose 10. Then definitely it will give the error message. How we will see? Why? How it is being done? It is added, but how concatenation is been done? It is not been added. Why? Because if you are using any input function, okay, that input function will take the value as a string. So string a will be a string. So that string is been I mean, what you called initialized with the string value. So if we add, we should use the plus symbol in between the strings, then the strings will be concatenated, okay, joined. But I don't want to concatenate it. I wanted to add, means I have to take this input not as a string but as an integer. Okay, in the runtime I can give uh, an integer or a float value. Okay, I can't say. I can give a float value also. So what I will be doing is, if particularly if I wanted to give the values only integers, if I know that I have to give the integers, so what I will be doing, I will be converting to integers. So I conversion functions I have to use int. Okay, in this way. int or int. Okay, right? Converted it to integers. Now we will see. Enter the value of A 12, B 34, some 10. Okay, it has been added. Okay, well and good. Then again I will run it. Now I will be giving zero point 0.2 float values. See here, I have converted to integer. So float, if I give some float value, then definitely the error will be coming. So whatever value, whether it may be integer or a float value, it has to take. So there is a method we have already discussed about that. Okay. So what is that? What is that method? Eval. EVAL. Okay. So whatever the value I am giving it, it will be converted as per as per the data which I am. If I am giving an integer, it will be converted to integer. If I am giving a float value, it will be converted to float value. So eval, very very important. Run it. I am giving some float value. Now I am giving some int value. Again some float value. Sorry. See here. So this way it happens. Okay. So hope you understood the concept over here. Directly, if you want to give here also, you can give it. Okay. So we'll be discussing those things later. Okay. So what is a constructor? You have got the idea. Okay. The difference between the constructor and the method. Okay. The constructor name will be underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay. uh, and inside that it should be only to use only to initialize the non-static variables. Here non-static variables will be preceded with the self dot a, self dot b, self dot c, like that. Okay. And if you want to use the non-static variables in the methods, you have to use with the self keyword only. Okay, hope you understood the concept. Okay, in the later classes we will be discussing about the uh, variables. Okay, what are the types of variables, how the variables can be called. Okay, thank you for now.